6, Duncan Scott in 4, and we could get 2 medals. And can they be gold and silver? Can they be gold and silver? Yes, Tom Dean is Olympic champion on the 200 meters freestyle, and Duncan Scott's got the silver.
This is how they line up then for heat 3 of the 5 heats of the men's 200 freestyle. Tom Dean for Great Britain is the fastest qualifier. They've seen a 1:45 from David Popovici. That sets the standard then for heat 3 of these 5 heats in the 200 freestyle. You can already see the rise in quality. Hwang Sung-woo from lane 5 taking it out. The 18-year-old, he's coming in on a 1:44.9. He's going to need all of that to make it through to the semi-finals. Hwang, Dean and Girev, the top 3 at the first 50.
And it is at 24.08 at the 50-metre mark for Hwang. Of course, Park Tae-won has been, in previous Olympic Games, a star performer for Korea. He's leading it out now, Hwang, in the first 100 metres. Nice loping stroke, only breathing off to that right-hand side. Goes around in 50.12.
So Hwang it is, leading the Brit, Tom Dean. Bronze at the Europeans earlier this year, the versatile 21-year-old European junior champion on the 200 medley a few years ago, Dean, but preferring to come to the middle distances.
Let's see what he's got in the second 100 metres. We just saw Popovici swim that 1:45, but he only went out in a 51 seconds. This is out in a 50.1. Holding on, 1:17.0.
Well, you need to finish in the top 3 really in these seeded heats to make sure of your place in the top 16 to go through to the semi-finals. Charging down the final 50 then, Hwang Sung-woo of Korea, making no mistake. He's only 18 years of age, and this is perhaps a passing of the baton. The 16-year-old Romanian Popovici's time has been beaten by Hwang. Tom Dean in second place, that's good news for Great Britain. Heat 4 of the men's 200 freestyle. Duncan Scott, the great British hope, bronze at the World Championships, silver in the Europeans. Malyutin of Russia in 5, Kozma of Hungary in 6, the veteran 30-year-old Robin Hansen from Sweden in 7, and Jordan Portain, the 26-year-old for France, completes the lineup.
Well, we saw this in the 400 metres freestyle heats. If they get caught up with racing each other rather than somebody really trying to set the pace in this heat, then they may very well miss out. And particularly if it's a throw the blanket across the field like it is right now. It looks as though at the moment Hansen and Portain from France, and also some action on the other side with Schäfer across in lane number 2, but not a lot in it at all. They are all swimming nicely beside each other.
Well, the form swimmers really are Duncan Scott and Martin Malyutin, the Brit and the Russian. Gold and silver at the European Championships early this year. They're up against the rest of the world, but for me these two should be the ones that are going to come through in the closing stages. But Schäfer from Brazil has something to say about this, the Pan-American champion from 2. Can he hang on with 50 metres to go? Around this turn, we're on the final charge.
Time to make a move. It is a slower heat at the 100-metre mark. 1 second slower than the heat prior. So Duncan Scott now starting to make a move through the field. But Schäfer's holding on over in lane number 2. 1 more heat to go. Important to be in the top end of your heat.
So Schäfer then for Brazil is going to bring this home, finishing strongly. Duncan Scott, and also on the charge is Malyutin from the Russian Olympic Committee. That's your top 3, and they'll all be confident for making it through into the semi-finals. Duncan Scott and Tom Dean will fire the British with a good performance here. Now the key to the 200 freestyle is to be quick up the first 50, but conserving as much energy as possible. Just Rapsis is actually sitting back now from lane 2, the Lithuanian, as the middle of the pool. Huang Sunwoo and Tom Dean from 5 in the golden lanes closer to us take them up the first 50.
I was just thinking before they dived in that everybody's talking about being a racing meet. I'm waiting for someone just to absolutely have a crack and take it out, and it looks as though the centre of this pool are going to try and do that. Kieran Smith across in lane number 1, the US swimmer, is also trying to take it out. But Huang Sunwoo and Tom Dean at the moment are the pace setters. Nice rhythm for Kieran Smith across in lane number 1. Duncan Scott starting to move through.
Well, at the midpoint of this 200 freestyle, there are 2 Brits behind Kieran Smith. He's already won a bronze medal in the 400, so we know that Smith has got the endurance. The question is, has he got the speed as they come round on the 150-metre turn, because these more sprint-orientated swimmers will be on the charge in the final 50. We've got 4 in a line now alongside Kieran Smith as they turn with 50 to go, and this again is going to be desperately tight at the finish.
It is going to be tight, and it is a faster semi-final than the one before it, so again positions are going to matter. Rapsis is having not a great 200 freestyle. Duncan Scott moving his way through. Kieran Smith starting to fatigue but holding on, and here comes the Korean as well.
So Duncan Smith taking over at the front of this. He's just going to keep his eyes across the pool. He may even ease up with a stroke or 2 to go. He's done a very professional job, the Brit, stopping the clock in a 1:44.66, the fastest across the field, as he leads home Kieran Smith, the American, and Danis Rapsis with a strong finish for the Lithuanian. 2 Brits in this final, but Thomas Neal, the Australian, misses out by 3/100ths of a second.
A long hold from the start, and nerves really jangling on the start of that men's 200 metres freestyle. And right in the centre, the red hat, Duncan Scott started pretty well, but as always, Tom Dean looks really good closer to us, but going out really quickly is Huang of Korea in the black hat down in lane number 7. And look at Popovici up the top as well.
It's what I thought. Popovici on the top, going out fast, taking that side of the lane, the race out, and Huang and Dean, great that they're next to each other, because these 2 guys go out really quickly at the beginning. Huang will take the race on, very important, as you see there on the right of your shots. Huang taking the race at such a pace, and this will help Tom, for Tom to go with him and hopefully stick with him. But Duncan Scott doing typically sitting back, but this race has gone very quickly down the first 100. I don't want it to get away from Scott. Look at that time. Under world record, he's gone under 50 for the first 100.
Well, has he gone out too quick? Huang of Korea in lane number 7. He's a very, very good 200 freestyler, but now the charge surely is going to come. Huang is swimming away from them. Has he gone too early? Duncan Scott in the centre's looking really good, you know, as is Tom Dean in 6. Tom Dean looking very good indeed. 50 metres to go in this final of the 200 freestyle. That was a tired-looking turn from Huang.
Well, Dean just under a second down. Duncan Scott is going to come back like a triangle. Wouldn't write Scott off in the middle. Look at the top in the yellow lanes with the red cap. He's coming back. Dean's still in there. And Schaefer from Brazil is in there. Come on, Tom Dean. Come on, Duncan Scott.
Well, Tom Dean and Duncan Scott looking really good at the moment, and they've got 15 metres to go. Tom Dean in 6, Duncan Scott in 4, and we could get 2 medals, and can they be gold and silver? Can they be gold and silver? Yes, Tom Dean is Olympic champion on the 200 metres freestyle, and Duncan Scott's got the silver. Gold and silver to Great Britain. Tom Dean, you've just won the Olympic Games on the 200 metres freestyle, and Britain has gone 1-2. Can you believe that? Oh my goodness.